Hi, we are here with Seize the Day with Shannon Miller, and I'm so excited. We are out here at Trapeze High, Florida, and this is basically the only public trapeze school that's in North Florida. So very exciting that it's here and that we get to do it. I am here with Cynthia Carrasco, and you are a breast cancer survivor.
I am.
And we were talking and emailing back and forth, and you had talked about when you were diagnosed. You were diagnosed on September 23rd of 2002, and this was the same year that your sister passed of breast cancer.
It is. My sister died because she didn't get early diagnosis. She was 37 years old, and we had no prior family history of any cancer, so she didn't think that's what it was. And the fact that she thought that this couldn't possibly be cancer, and the lump she had in her breast she thought was a cyst, and she finally wound up a year and a half later going to the doctor because she had back pain. Well, at that time she had metastatic cancer, which means the spread of cancer all throughout her body, and she wound up dying from cancer. That same year I was diagnosed with cancer as she was dying, and I thought no good would come from this. And I pretty much thought this would be it for me as well. In addition, my husband and I are both ER nurses, and so we had never seen a good outcome with cancer and with chemotherapy. And I told my oncologist when I finally went in to see her, I said, you know, I don't know if I can be sick like this. This is just horrible. And she said, you're an ER nurse. You've never seen a good outcome. And so I took the chemotherapy. I climbed a mountain while I was having chemo.
Oh my goodness. Well, and this is amazing, and I think this is so important for all of our viewers to understand is a lot of times we hear of unfortunately some of the most horrendous cases with breast cancer and other cancers, but there is so much hope because there have been so many strides made, especially in breast cancer in particular, that there can be really great outcomes now. Just early detection is so important.
I am living proof of that hope.
And you are now cancer-free.
I am cancer-free and have been for the last 8 years.
That's so great. You know, one of the things that we were talking about before was the fact that you waited. You have 2 children. And you waited, 3 children. Excuse me. Well, we don't want to leave one out. 3 children, and you waited until after you knew you were going to be okay before telling them. But you've said now you might regret that decision. Why?
I did regret that decision, and the reason that I did was because when I finally told them, and they lived in another state than I did because they were grown at the time, and they said, we would have so been there for you, Mother, and what happens if we eventually get breast cancer? We won't know what to do.
That's so important.
And I thought, well, you know, in retrospect, maybe I should have said something, but I didn't want to make you afraid because I was afraid.
Oh, we want to shield our kids. And how did your husband handle it? He's also an ER nurse, as you mentioned.
My husband was more afraid that I wasn't going to have chemotherapy or, you know, do what the doctor said because of the outcomes that we had seen. And I said, I don't want to be sick until I die. I don't. Yeah. And after we talked to actually I had a mastectomy and chemotherapy, and he was so afraid that I wasn't going to have anything done that I think that scared him more than anything, that I would die because I didn't go with the doctor's recommendation.
Absolutely. Well, and those are so important, and it's such a personal journey, and we all have to kind of take it on and deal with it in stride, but it's so wonderful to have the support system, the friends and family, and also be able to talk with your oncologist and feel comfortable with him. And since your diagnosis, you've been a very passionate volunteer for the American Cancer Society. What's been your favorite part?
My favorite part is that I get to go all over the Jacksonville area and teach women a breast health plan, how to examine their breasts, what to do if you find a lump in your breast, when to start getting mammograms, where to go to get mammograms. And I feel like that is my mission.
Absolutely. Education is key.
Huge opportunities to meet a lot of people that I would not have met hadn't this happened to me.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. I've met so many women with such wonderful stories, and that's why it's so important for us to do a program like this that really talks about seizing the day, because it also allows me to highlight some wonderful women just like you. And you know, you've told me that you take every opportunity that you can to learn new things. Now, I admit that I wasn't real sure I was going to find someone to do the trapeze with me, and I'm a little nervous, as with everything. But you're taking it on. You're ready to go.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
When you called me, you said trapeze, and I thought, well, what do you mean by trapeze? And you said, you know, like the circus, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm in.
Well, are you ready? We're
I am so ready.
All right, we're going to go fly. We'll see you later.